Welcome to Balls and Brews. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers, gents. Pod 74.
Look at this color of this Batson gun.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a little sweet on the back end,
I
too.
do like that a lot.
Give me the garbage. This is a fucking hilarious can. You're not going to be able to see it because it's kind of a hue of, like, you can see the reflection. But check it out on X and Instagram. And
It's a funny little can.
it's cool. From Little House Brewing Company out in New Haven, Connecticut. Drinks at a 6.2 is what it says.
6.2, not bad, not bad.
Definitely up front, nice and stouty. And then on the back end, sweet.
I like it.
Yeah, did you notice any other notes in there? My brother thought he might taste coffee actually.
Sure.
This last night.
Sure. No, I can get that as well. I think within a stout, coffee is kind of just there as a natural note, even if you don't use the beans themselves. It's pretty much just, you know, all of the other ingredients that mimic it.
Yeah. It didn't give you a profile on the can. But
I do like it. I like how
good.
it is sweet at the end, but it is all stouty at the front. Maybe that's where the coffee is the front part.
Sure.
Like right when you get it, a little bit of coffee right when you get a beginning of it.
yeah, it's not like heavy or anything, coffee wise.
Well, which is nice. Well, just heavy period. First period of the day, trying to, you know, ease us back in.
Back into what? Chuck, what are you saying? Were we back into a drinking again?
A little bit.
Yeah, we were all drinking last night.
I mean, the whiskeys were more to write home about than, you know, I was just having high noons and had a gelato, which is really good.
We did have 3 little shots of whiskey.
Oh, that was tasty.
Yellowstone. We had
Traveler.
and then we had the 101 Wild Turkey Rye.
It's so, those little half shots are so perfect.
Yeah.
They're the coolest little things.
Beer wise, we had. I drink a lot of Kona. Kona, I love that pack, dude. I love that mixed pack with the longboard, the big wave, the Gold Coast IPA, and then that other, however you say it, IPA. It starts with like an H or whatever.
Yeah, it's a Hanalei.
Yeah, so we had
IPA.
So we had that. Those are.
I'm sure I butchered
dude, it's
that,
so
but
delicious.
phonetically that's how I read
It's
it.
so delicious.
Yeah.
So I was crushing all 4 at some point during the night.
Nice.
Yeah, I like those variety packs, especially when you get a good group.
I do.
I was, I actually had some of this by happenstance last night. Buddy Joe brought it over along with, we had some Numb and Number.
That's a delicious one.
We've
That's
had that on the pod.
That's the
for
one I
sure.
drink at Royce all the time.
That makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes sense.
Had, like riding a bike.
Yeah,
Our
that's a
friends
good
at
one.
Urban Roots. That was good. And then the other one I think was called Moon Rocks. I couldn't see the whole name in the picture I took, but that was another. It was a Mosaic IPA. It was also very good, and along with
The can looked cool.
Yeah, it was a cool looking can. I mean, I'm sure that's why Joe probably grabbed it.
I'd say it helps. That very much contributes. If your labeling interests me, I'm a lot more inclined to try it.
Numb and Number is a Fall River, right?
Yes, it is.
Correct.
That's another one of our favorite breweries on this pod.
Yep.
They put out good work.
Also, he brought over some Cutwater, which is the brewer, and they do a lot of cocktails.
Oh, I
the
have seen
pre-mixers,
that.
yeah.
I
Oh,
have
yeah.
seen that.
Yeah,
I've
they-
had the mango margarita one.
They have like a margarita mixer. They do
Sure.
Mai Tais and other
Mai
tequilas,
Tai.
mules. Joe got a variety pack with the espresso, martini espresso,
Those are coming back hardcore.
the White Russian,
There you go.
which were both 13%ers, and then the 7%er apple mule.
I don't know if I've ever actually had a White Russian.
Oh man, that is my.
They're really good.
That is like my dessert.
I mean,
Like
I like cream and I like, you know, like milk and all that stuff. So
It's good.
It's a
it's kind of like
delicious-
a dairy alcohol beverage, right?
Yes.
Isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
It's good. I like it.
I'd fuck with it. I mean, milk stouts are delicious. This is really good. I'm sorry. Excuse me, by the way. Very good. Very tasty so far. All right. So, we are going to give you an update here on some. Or do you guys have anything else you want to check in with, like food, anything like that?
No, regular food. We made some good chicken wings, regular stuff. But
Shout
we do
out,
need
made some chicken
to, before we go into the CFP, we do need to start with the patheticness of the John Paul John Paul?
John Paul Jones, Jimmy John Joe, whatever his goddamn name is, Jake Paul.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, shindig that happened on Netflix Friday.
It's a shindig. That's basically what it was.
Dude, it was fucking pathetic.
Giant gathering of heathens.
Well, and he looked good for like the first 2 rounds, and he won the first 2 rounds. And then after that, it was just like he just stood there. He had no legs left. Like he was done. And I looked at his legs. I was like, oh, like right when he got in the ring, I was like, man, his legs look really small. Like,
I mean, he's 58. I
wasn't expecting anything either, but I was like, that's why this is such a joke.
Yeah.
That he thinks that he's like a real boxer. He just beat that's the first boxer he's actually fought. And it was a 58-year-old. The only other boxer he fought, he lost to Tyson Fury's brother, right? So, I don't know, dude. I'm over and then he called out Canelo at the end. So, we'll see if Canelo fights him. I just want to see that fool get
No, I don't
dumped.
Here's the thing now is Jake Paul has built his career so far off of just basically like prize fighting. He hasn't really like earned the stripes. Canelo Alvarez shouldn't even give him the time of day. Why would he even look his direction?
Just to knock him out.
No,
Shut him up.
It's a huge payday.
Huge payday.
Dude, that would be the boxing community doesn't want that. There's such an old school, like it's a downgrade. It's a disrespect to the art of boxing to have Jake Paul fight Canelo Alvarez. Like that would be, like a spit in the face, if you will. Like
I don't know. Like boxing hasn't really had
been that kind of way for a while.
Yeah, you had 60 million
put
people.
anybody
you
together.
Had 60
really.
million people watch that fucking shit show.
And
3 of them are right here.
Yeah, it's true. I watched it, and then thanks for showing us Mike Tyson's booty. I
literally was like watching it. We got home. We went to like South 40 with Grayson, played games, had some pizza, had some like couple of brewskis. And then got home, and me and Angelique were sitting there, and we were like kind of pumped up to watch it, getting ready. And I was like, "This fucking sucks."
There was a title fight on that card between Mario Barrios and Abel Ramos, and they beat the hell out of each other. It was a great match. It was an excellent.
Yeah, because everybody else said the girls' fight was good too.
The girls' fight had moments. Katie Taylor. I didn't like her fighting style. No, she should. I don't think Amanda Serrano got screwed.
Yeah,
I think she was pinging her. Bop, 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 but Katie just mashed her face. She had like one of the gnarliest eyebrow cuts you'll see in a while. They thought they were going to stop it in like the 5th when she opened it up. But she really opened it up because she was like kind of headbutting her.
Yeah, I saw that. That's what I thought. That's what I thought it looked like.
She was headbutting her.
No, that headbutt should have been a bigger deduction, and that should have cost her the fight, but it didn't. But
it did, because that's what that headbutt like
was beating the hell out of her.
The headbutt is what opened it up. That's
more
what,
or less.
did it.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, and it split.
Oh, it was nasty.
Yeah,
it was full on.
And then she just beat on it for the next 3 rounds.
That's you got a weakness.
Why
at that
not?
point.
No, absolutely.
That's all I'm aiming for.
1000%. She was too, but like. I don't know, that fight. I thought Serrano deserved to win that fight, dude.
But you know what sucks is that the whole card is overviewed by what happened at the end. Always on how at the end. And it's never like I was out doing stuff with the family. Like it was on the TV there, and I kind of like looked up a couple times, but I didn't really pay attention. It's all about what happens at the end of the card. Usually what makes the card, even though there's great fights on cards, because I've even done UFC at my house.
Sure.
Where we've had
if the main event is
had a couple fights, and then the main event sucks, and everybody's like, oh man, and you're like, well, the rest, I mean, that fight was good, and this fight was good.
It's kind of bittersweet, is what it is. But dude, yeah, unfortunately, like Mike Tyson, thank God you didn't die in there, because you looked slow. He looked lost from basically the 3rd round on, and thank
that's
God.
What also is the other dude even like half a decent boxer that he didn't like, or did he not just take out Mike Tyson?
I think he just chose not to.
The latter. Yeah. He had to. He could have easily. Dude, there were way moments. Absolutely. He smoked him a handful of times. He still landed 200 plus punches.
Yeah, I think he does have some respect for Tyson, but he's just a publicity stunt. That's all his fights are.
Exactly, which is why I don't think Canelo Alvarez gives him a fucking sniff.
If you're going to get in the ring, dude, you got to put somebody down.
Well, you got to go what they're going to call the proper channels, if you will. They're not just going to let you fucking... I mean, sometimes maybe they do let it happen if he can get the traction. But I really hope that doesn't fucking happen.
I don't know. I see that happening, though, just because boxing needs that money.
In other
those viewership.
In other fight news, UFC the fucking 4th matchup between John Jones and Stipe Miocic happened last night.
I didn't realize it was a 4th.
It was their 4th. They had a triple, and then this is their 4th. And Miocic came out of retirement from like way back. Like he hasn't fought in forever.
That kind of make no sense.
Jones be ducking, dude. He's making all these Twitter posts that are. Is it still tweeting on X? By the way, does anybody know what we're doing out in the universe when it comes to the internet anymore? We've lost our way.
Are we Xting?
Are we Xting?
That sounds wrong.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Let me get some of that X'd in my life.
So you have more of an opinion on this than me and Trev have on this one. So what's your I got some hate to drop.
I just know I like that Dana White came out at the end of the match and said if John Jones is not, if he retires, he retires. I can't make him fight, but the next opponent he will have is going to be the interim heavyweight champion. He can't just dance around the guy who has the interim belt if you're supposed to be the champion.
Who's got the interim belt? Can you share with us?
Yeah, Tom Assendahl is his name.
Is he a stud? Is he going to smoke Jones or is Jones and smoke him? Well, Jones is a pretty good fighter.
I know. Man. I'm not saying he's not. I
just don't like him. I'm not.
I think it'd be a great fight. I'm
never rooting for him.
Sure. Aspinall can do both. He can grapple. He's strong as a fucking ox, and he can smoke you standing up, or he can sit you down and twist you in a bunch of different ways. But so can Jones. I don't know why he's duck. Maybe he's really fearful of getting beat. I don't know. Because it would be a really good fight, and the UFC would benefit from it, and just general fight. It's one of those ones that you could just bring to the masses, right? Like you could get enough behind it that the general fan would start to care for this.
Is that one that we're going at the house and having a party for?
I mean, probably. But they're $80. That one was way from the depths, brother. They're like $80, and they're like every 3 weeks. That's the thing. You got to really hit on the like.
Well, sometimes you can get if you have ESPN Plus, you can watch there's some of them aren't pay per view. Like you can.
Well, there's fight nights. No, but I'm talking about specifically the pay per views are always charged. Oh, the UFC makes money.
They do ESPN Plus just once. Sure, some good fights actually sometimes.
Oh, they do. Yeah, no, the fight nights are cool as shit. Yeah, that's the whole point.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I guess we'd pay for that. But I used to be in the UFC way more than I am now. I mean, I was back with Tito Ortiz and
why do you think that is? What do you think changed? Because it's actually gotten more popular.
I don't know. I was watching it with the when Bader won. My guy Bader won the UFC.
Dude,
show.
I remember when Shamrock was part of the UFC and the throwback.
Who was the guy with the mohawk that was whooping everybody, and then Rampage knocked him out.
Chuck Liddell.
Chuck Liddell, dude. That's when I was watching it. Yeah, and then you had then Rampage was a thing for a little bit.
That was like UFC 1.0. That was like the first time it actually caught a little steam in the mainstream.
My guy was who's a middleweight guy that from Brazil. He was kicking people at QSR or
John St. Pierre. He's from Australia.
Yeah, I like watching him. Then you had Silva in there. George St. Pierre. Yeah.
I actually saw him in the airport in Austin when I was flying back from Austin a couple years ago. Yeah. Swear to God. Knew it was him. A fan actually pulled him. I was like, hey, can I take a picture with you? And I watched him stop with this kid and take a picture. It was real cool. He's a small guy.
I think he only weighs 165 or something. Right?
Yeah, and he's only 5'7", 5'6", 5'7". He's a normal looking dude.
Try to walk up to
him.
But
no, absolutely not. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? No way. Because technique will beat just sheer strength 99% of the time, and especially in that. He's a world class fucking jiu-jitsu artist. He would fold me up like a pretzel. It'd be terrible.
He fought Captain America.
Who the fuck is Captain America?
When in the movie, he's in the movie and he fights Cap. Bam, bam, bam. But in other news, another crazy weekend of college football. That's why I think I like college football more than pro football.
Well, there's just so much of it. There's just so fucking
you can find good games so much. I watched the USC game that was good with Nebraska, not ranked. Either one, but it's still a good game.
Sure.
We finished the Mizzou South Carolina game last night. It was crazy.
That game, yeah.
Georgia Tennessee was good for 3 quarters. Boise State San Jose State was good for 3 quarters.
That score of that game does not tell the tape. San Jose had them on the ropes for a little bit, dude. In the third quarter, they were up by a tud. Yeah.
Just good football in general. Just always. That's why I don't know, man. It's just you get to when I get the NFL. If you don't have all the crazy fucking packages, you get 3 games.
Sure, I know.
I get 3 games at fucking 9 o'clock that might be great. I get 3 games at noon that could be great. I get 3 games at 4:30, and then I get another game at 7 that's usually on.
And you know what? Shout out to Fubo for their packaging, as it were, for those channels. They have everything. ACC Network, Big Ten Network, CBS
Washington
Sports
State,
Network.
New Mexico State game where New Mexico beat them, dude.
Yeah.
That game was crazy.
New Mexico State, Washington State was crazy. Yeah, no, it was a heater. We were on heaters. We got to watch the end of some seriously good games. Like, I don't disagree with you, Downey. It was a great. It was probably the best outside of college.
It's not like they were all
playoff.
ranked. Like the only game that was really ranked would have been the Georgia-Tennessee game. They were like Washington State is
Was
ranked,
18th,
but, right? It wasn't against a ranked team, but it's just good games, like good football games.
Clemson ended up pulling it out against Pitt.
But I didn't watch that one.
24-20. I watched that. And passed out at
Klubnik kid's making kind of a nice little run, dude. He's had some really good weeks lately.
I'm looking at him better than Beck right now, right? Like, I mean,
but if is he one of the dudes that just stays to make his maybe stock even better for next year? Like, because he could still stay.
I don't know, man. It's so weird. Like, sometimes it helps, sometimes it hurts. I mean, you've seen examples where both have worked, so I just think the kid's got to be ready if that's the whole thing.
I can't wait to see if there's more tape now on the guys that start for a longer period of time in college having better success in the NFL. Like these guys that are starting for 3 or 4 years, like the Bo Nixes. Penix hasn't done anything. Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix both a lot of career starts, starting to play really. That's why somebody would
take a flyer on Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, I think the exact same thing. I looked up a lot of stuff, but I'm on my phone, so I can't show any of that. So let's jump in. Chuck, let's start with you on who is 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the last rankings on the board.
Obviously, this will change, but as of Tuesday of earlier this week, it was we had number 1 Oregon.
Tough game, but got to win.
They snuck it out, and then it would be number 2 Tejas. Number 3, BYU.
Because they're the
leader of the Big 12.
And they lost too, so that's going to be
they were undefeated. That's right. That's right. We didn't even mention that
game,
yeah,
too.
We sure did. Yeah. And then 4 was Miami, who was off this week.
But which is weird. So we were talking about this off pod, everybody. Technically, it says the 1 through 2, 3, 4 will be the champions of the conferences of the Big 4. So I guess right now they're picking Miami as 4 because it's a higher ranked team. Is that what your guys' feelings are? Because they're technically SMU's above them and Clemson technically is above them.
Yeah, I think they're just they've been kind of the darling for most of the season, so they're just leaving them there until it figures itself out because they don't play each other, so you just kind of got to wait till the end.
Yeah, with Clemson getting away from Pitt, Miami must have been sitting there going, "Oh fuck, come on, Pitt, come on, Pitt."
You're not lying there.
Every Miami fan was rooting for the fucking Pitt yesterday. I'll tell you that,
dude. Sometimes you got to look at those games as just pure like what gives my team the best advantage,
which is crazy, right? So we've been on this Miami kick, right? So they say that they finish out. It's gonna be so crazy to see who plays in the ACC championship game because it's gonna go on a tiebreaker, and then Miami might not even play. So they might not even make the 12 because they could end up ranked somewhere weird.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And somebody else like Boise State could fall in, or even now the Big 12 champion now that BYU's lost. Because who's next in BYU? Colorado got a big dub.
It's true.
Are they too?
They control their own destiny is what it is. They control their own destiny to the Big 12 title game. So they could steal that 4th spot.
Dude, that'd be huge for college football.
I mean...
That would laminate Shedeur Sanders as the number 1 pick.
That wouldn't be, bad for college football. I would not want the hype to go that direction. But
because Utah's out, they lost a fucking ton of games.
Oh yeah, no.
Did Arizona State win last night in that tough game, or did they lose? They had a K-State.
They had a hell of a lead, and then K-State came back. But do you know what the final was?
Oh god, I'll double check. But it has them as 3rd in the conference. They won.
They did. They ended up pulling it out.
Okay. Yeah. So 1 is who? BYU.
So BYU's still sitting at 1 with Colorado behind them. Those are the only. Well, I guess
1 loss teams within conference.
Well, yeah, because Colorado does have 2 losses overall.
Which what sucks for K-State.
That doesn't matter in conference.
You know what sucks for K-State? Will Howard stays at K-State. They are probably winning a couple of games. Yeah,
division or conference,
right? Which sucks for that team. And then he's at Ohio State, but they don't really look impressive. Honestly, Ohio State really hasn't looked impressive.
Ryan Day does enough, but he never gets them over the hump.
So it is kind of sucky for a team like K-State to lose your quarterback, and he goes to Ohio State when you could have like won the Big 12 with him, most likely.
Sure. No, I especially like staying within the system that he was familiar with.
Right.
No, I know. It's a crazy time we live in. Every year you have to revisit your roster because you have no idea. Kids are going to be coming and going. It's insane. You have to recruit your own players. Team. I know, how bonkers is that? No wonder why Nick Saban retired.
And no wonder why the dude from Boston College went and played defensive coordinator, or is not playing. Is a defensive coordinator for the fucking Packers because he doesn't have to deal with this shit. He just gets to come up with cool ass plays.
I don't know if I'd want to put myself in college recruiting right now. Good Lord.
I mean, I think once it settles down, it'll be better. But you just have that kind of period of time where you're trying to figure out, are we doing contracts for these kids? Right. Like, how are we going to decide?
There's got to be something laid out soon. There's got to be something figured out soon.
It can't just be what it is.
Oh, it's the Wild West right now. It's super lawless because there's no commission. There's been no overseer of the NCAA. They let the conferences, there's no one talking body for it. So shit just happens. We went from 4 to 12 teams in a year. We went to just mega conferences in under a couple of years. Like, college football has morphed, dude, and it's not catching up to itself. I love the product. We just spoke about like 7 games that were bangers, right?
Yeah.
So
like great weekend of college
right.
football.
So we can't say that the product itself on the field is watered down. It's better than it's ever been. But
it's just a new landscape.
Exactly. So.
Also, I mean, just the NCAA has done like a complete 180 of abusing their power and allowing everything to happen now.
Chucky, who is so out of the 4, nobody's switching. Those 4 should be the same next week, correct? Oregon won, nobody's getting ahead of them. They're the only undefeated that's
Texas
up there.
Will stay at 2.
Texas won, they'll stay at 2.
And then BYU won't necessarily change, and Miami was stagnant. So unless
BYU will fall in Trev's rankings. But BYU won't fall in your rank. And
shouldn't because they're the CFP,
right? So who's 6 on your bracket there, Charlie? Who's
we have a matchup, right? Okay, so 6 Penn State versus, we need 5 first, which is Ohio State versus 12 Boise State, right?
Because what's Boise State ranked, Trev? Are they even in the 12 right now?
They're 14, right?
13.
They're 13. Okay, dude, that's a tough matchup for Boise State. Even though we're not big fans of Ohio State. But, dude, that'd be a sick move, dude. We watched Gentry last night do some fucking crazy shit. I know that Travis Hunter probably should maybe be Heisman. We'll have to have that conversation at the end of the year. But Gentry's a badass, and I really dude, he's definitely going top 15, maybe top 10 in the NFL draft.
Oh.
He's a stud.
That high, huh? I think he'll go first round, but I'm still not sure where to place him.
I'll have to look when it all finishes out.
It also depends. They put a lot of stock, whether you want to admit it or not, into the goddamn combine anymore. The underwear Olympics seem to matter a whole lot.
Well, I think sometimes with these lower
measurables,
with the lower colleges too, when you're running past guys, how fast are the guys you're running past at these lower colleges? So when you when you do these measure like the drills, the cone drills, the 40s, all this stuff, you're like, okay, now it does match tape. Oh, actually, you know what? He was playing in the Mountain West,
right?
And he actually isn't that fast. He was blown away from dudes that were like
4'6", 4'7" guys, not 4'2", 4'3".
So I think it helps confirm what you're seeing on tape, especially for some of the younger, or not younger, especially for some of like the lower seeded kids that come from those teams.
I can understand that, and I don't disagree. I think sometimes they play into that kind of shit.
I do too. Well, Keenan Coleman had the best line drill of any. That one where you run and turn and run until
the gauntlet or whatever it
is.
Dude,
we watched him play, and with our all 3 of our eyes, we're like, dude, that dude's one of the best receivers. But because we didn't run a fast 40, he got passed up by some of the other guys that run faster 40s. Like, that's the only reason that he didn't go like way higher in the draft.
It's crazy. Straight line speed in the NFL actually is, I think, overvalued a lot of the time.
I want to know your like 10-yard splits, like how fast you are, like how quick you are, what's your acceleration. And then, dude, when you can run and not turn, or when you can turn and not move your body, dude, that is elite for a receiver. And Keenan Coleman showed it. He's hurt right now, but he's had an all right year so far.
Keon.
He's
funny.
Not no Neighbors or Brian Thomas Jr. year, but he's played pretty well. Who we got after that, Charlie?
Next up, all right, so that was the 5-12 matchup, technically. We'll go to 6-11 is Penn State, Old Miss. Did Old Miss end up, were they stagnant? Because Penn State won.
They were stagnant.
Okay.
Jackson Dart's one of those quarterbacks that I'm trying to figure out because size-wise, he's like, and athletic-wise, he's perfect. But it's got to be accuracy, it's got to be footwork. But Ole Miss, dude, that's a dangerous spot for Penn State. I think Penn State is way overvalued in this rankings. The games I've watched, I didn't watch yesterday. They put up a lot of points yesterday. They're not very good offensively, and I don't understand the Drew Allard thing. I've done some quarterback looking lately, and he is like 7th quarterback, 8th quarterback, and I don't understand it all. I don't see it at all.
Top 10 guy?
I don't know, man. I don't see it. I'd rather have the Dylan Gabriels and stuff, man. Drew Allard, I don't know if people are like inept with his size, like because he's a big dude and he's kind of fast. But dude, he don't throw the football. Have we not learned if you can't throw the fucking football, you can't win in the NFL?
I feel like that should be a number 1 or number 2 attribute of your quarterback is how he just actually throws the football. Yeah.
Anthony Richardson completion percentage is like
starting again.
Fuck, I could be the best fucking. My completion percentage would be
boom
better.
or bust, dude. When he booms, it's insane. When he drops that 60-yard bucket pass, it's absurd. That's
but he can't
1%
throw it
throw.
to a fucking running back coming into the flat.
I know. That's why I was. If you guys watch back on that draft, that was the first. That was like pod number 4 or 5 was that draft when we did the whole thing. And
Anthony Richardson no go.
I wanted the Colts. I'm so glad that they drafted him. The fact that we didn't even
have to worry about.
We didn't even have the consideration because there was a lot of smoke about us wanting to pull him there.
Dude, they could have.
I think he's just having a hard time because of how high he was drafted. He never should have been drafted that high.
He played 13 games in Florida and went 6-7.
Yeah, we were just talking about it with quarterbacks coming out after they stay longer. You look at these guys that go early because of their talent. It's a project. You can't. You're not going to get like the C.J. Stroud kind of year with one of those guys.
And C.J. Stroud hasn't had a really great number 2 year, so
that's true.
It's kind of like, yeah. I mean, I think he's okay, but you're right. Like, dude, starting games, seeing plays, seeing defenses, and excelling in your offensive scheme at your school. Like Brock Purdy excelling at Iowa State. You got Bo Nix excelling at 2 different. I know Auburn, he got ran out the door, but there were times where he was really good at Auburn, and then he excelled in Oregon. But that's a lot of starts in your belt. Jaden Daniels excelling at Arizona State and then excelling at LSU in 2 different offenses.
Yeah,
but it's the starts. It's not just like the Heisman is one thing, but it's like the starts. You have like the starts under your belt. You've seen
more football,
dude, and that's so we talk about the running back being the one position we don't want you to play in. I want starts at quarterback.
Yeah, no, that's a great point that you bring up because players like Richardson, they never really excelled. Again, they saw like highlights.
Flash.
There's flashes. Flashing in the NFL, that's promising for a young player, but you need to excel in college. Otherwise, the learning curve and like catching up,
dude,
it's just
huge.
He's a 3-year project minimum, I would have said coming out, and that's why he went way too high.
Dude, think of the other quarterbacks went behind him to play with Shane Steichen.
There's not a single person who would tell you like the one thing that is the speed of the game. The NFL, the speed of the game is absolutely absurd. Like, and what's crazy is normally the tempo is actually pushed a little bit more in college. But as far as like the way the coverages move and like your blocking schemes and understanding how quick you have to 2.4 seconds is the average snap to toss in the NFL. You better have that bitch out before 3 seconds, otherwise you in goddamn trouble.
When you're going up against a team in college and you're facing a number 1 corner. That number 1 corner there's 3 of them on an NFL team. That edge rusher that's coming at you, there's 2 of them on an NFL team. Their best guy, there's 2 or double of everything. You're playing against the best of the best and not doing it good not doing it in college and just not excelling. Like you can get these guys. Like I was a big fan of Jake Hayner coming out a couple years ago because he excelled for years and read stuff and he was pretty good. He didn't start for they went with Rattler. That was kind of disappointing. But he just, when you get these guys that excel for a certain amount of time in a system and build that system right in college, they've seen it. Other guys haven't seen it. These 1-year guys haven't seen it.
Yeah, making that pick even more risky.
Even the Drake man. I know Trav wasn't huge on Drake, But Drake at least has seen it for like 2-3 years now.
1,000%. That's where I was
You know
at.
what I'm saying? And he's
big body, good arm.
And all you had to do was try to fix his feet. You get his mechanics right. Like you can, Josh Allen did it. It's not everybody can do it, which I think is another thing. I think Josh Allen doing it has made teams also take that bigger step. Oh man, Josh did it, but not everybody works like Josh.
Right.
Not everybody's as talented as Josh. So I think that's why you're like, or has a work ethic.
Jay
Obviously,
Allen's a fucking animal,
obviously some guys don't have the work ethic that some of these other guys do. So it's just like, oh, Josh did it. Well, Josh is fucking
he's also
a top 1% of athletes and quarterbacks.
Because he's also just built like an ox.
Right.
Dude. The man's like 250 fucking pounds. Like the dude is insane. Like,
so I think that's the other reason is you start looking at oh, well, he did it. Well, it's not everybody does it. Okay.
Fuck no.
Kyler Murray does it at 5'10". Yeah, but Kyler Murray also runs past everybody else
right now.
And it'll be interesting and has a good arm.
Although Allen relies on his legs a lot for a big boy.
Well, I'm saying using that mold of like a small quarterback. People try to use other molds. Well, dude, when you're using a mold of somebody, most of the guys that are doing it at this level are top-notch athletes and top-notch at what they do. Jared Goff, look at him now. The most efficient quarterback other than last week in football. He was like almost 80% completion percentage, boys.
Yeah, he went perfect against the Seahawks. You ain't got to tell me.
Sorry, that was like a little rant. Charlie, who's next on our board?
No, that's right, dude. That's why we got sidebars in this bitch. All is well, dude.
That was a delicious beer.
That was good. Oh, man. Next up is Indiana versus Alabama at 7-10.
This obviously will be not here next week. Out this weekend, Indiana, Ohio State this weekend, boys.
Yeah.
Hoosiers.
Let's go. Dude, that would flip some shit, dude.
Dude, that'd be so sick because they'd be undefeated, bro.
You would have to put them in the that'd be Big
They
Ten.
beat Oregon. The Oregon's still number one.
They'd have to beat Oregon. That'd be the
they would play
Big
them in the
title
Big
game.
Ten title game, dude.
Dude, if
Indiana's quarterback 6'5",
found a way to just
he's a big boy.
So you were looking in on him a little bit too.
Yeah, sorry, Charlie.
You good, brother? You good?
If Indiana, I don't know. I gotta do more look. I was looking size. I haven't got through all those guys, but he's 6'5".
So that will change. That will change because Indiana will have a game with Ohio State, which is exactly why these rankings are kind of cool right now, but don't mean diddly do until we really get down to the
especially
nitty-gritty.
with the conference championship games, because that will settle 1 through 4.
There's 3 weeks.
Even if Oregon all of a sudden goes all the way, they could lose either Ohio State or Indiana in the conference championship game and not be number 1.
Yep.
And then Ohio State or Indiana
buck somebody else down. It'd have to because there's no way they're not making the tourney after being number 1 all year.
They would just fall to 5. They would fall to 5. They'd probably fall to 5 or 6.
It depends on how I guess big the whooping was, but
and so you still have the SEC championship game that's going to decide some shit.
I get it. Listen to us every
Big
week.
12
We talk about this.
Game, ACC championship game. Hot.
I get why they did what they did, but it's just weird. You got to catch up to yourselves, NCAA. I feel like you put a horse before the buggy or the buggy before the horse.
Who's the last matchup, Trev or Chucky? We got one more.
Was 8-9 Tennessee versus Notre Dame. So Tennessee will obviously take a hit after losing to Georgia.
I wonder where they'll fall, and I wonder who would move in. Where are you at there, Trev? Who could move up there?
So Georgia last.
Oh,
Georgia was 12.
So
and they were out because.
So Georgia would move right into that spot, Chuck. I bet.
Yeah, with them winning, and I mean Tennessee's just gonna fall.
Yeah, 100%. So Georgia moves into where Tennessee's at. So basically, there's not a lot of movement on who's in the 12, other than Georgia coming into Tennessee's house.
I mean, you got. Okay, Boise at 13, so lurking behind them, you got SMU and A&M. And A&M has that big game against Texas, not next Saturday, but the one after.
And then you still have, obviously, SMU's doesn't have anybody until the ACC title game. So, fuck, dude, if SMU goes undefeated to go to the ACC title game and they get to play Clemson instead of Miami, depending on how that tiebreaker would be, because then that would knock maybe somebody out too. Maybe Miami's a higher ranked team. Obviously, they are. They don't fall too far.
Shuffle.
Who does that knock?
There'd be the shuffle. You'd have to.
Maybe Bama falls out at some point.
It's funny to say that with 12 teams, you're going to have discrepancy at the back end.
What's Bama actually numbered wise?
They were 10.
So that's what I'm saying, dude. They could end up falling out too. I don't know. Would you put Georgia? Would Bama move up to where Tennessee's at, and then Georgia would move up to 10? Is that what you're thinking?
It could be possible. It really all depends. I don't want to even speculate because it's not going to matter until literally the final one.
The conference championship week settles everything.
Sure. It's going to, 1,000%.
Because they've made it now so important on winning the conference championship. You get 1 through 4.
Right.
So, I mean, like we're talking Oregon, like you just said, Oregon might be 1 now, but they might not be 1 if they lose to like Ohio State or somebody. They said they might have to play Ohio State wherever the Big 12 plays their title game at.
Big 10?
Big 10.
I think is it neutral or is it
probably
neutral
side.
or would it be the number 1 versus number 2?
You have to go back to Oregon.
That's what I'm saying,
buddy.
I think that's exactly what the NCAA
that house would be fucking rocking,
dude. Well, I mean, it was already rocking.
But it would be even. It'd be rocking the whole game.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if Oregon can stay in the game and if they're winning that game. Oh my God. It's exciting, man. I can't wait to see where we go. The Heisman race is basically. I don't know. It's almost a 2-person race. I don't know if any of the quarterbacks. Dylan didn't have a good game this weekend. Jalen didn't play this weekend. I don't know where Shadour's at in the Heisman.
I haven't seen him up there.
Cam Ward lost last weekend, so I think it's right now. It's a lot of Gentry and a lot of Travis Hunter.
Yep, 2-man race.
Hunter got a touchdown, a pick this week, so it's gonna be interesting to see where he goes.
Yeah,
I've been doing a lot of looking, boys. Dude, they got that Missouri receiver and the Arizona receiver both going real high.
Those are the first 2?
Yep. I got to look more. Yeah, I got to look more what they're projected. Well, we're going to get a refill on the beers that are going to be empty. Check out a little Red Zone, and we're going to come back with a playoff picture as of now. If the NFL ended today, who is in the playoffs, boys? The Denver Broncos are the number 7 seed. Just a little highlight of where we're going to be.
Yeah, I think these ones are going to be a little bit more easier to predict than these fucking 12-team This college football playoff is going to be absurd. So definitely,
but man, it's been really good games.
Great, exactly. So you guys just stay up with that, and we'll be back soon with some NFL.
Welcome back to Balls and Brews. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, guys.
These cans are super cool by our friends at New Belgium.
Ooh. I almost just call it Voodoo Ranger at this point. Like, New Belgium does so many other things.
That is really good.
So it's Blaze Lightning IPA. It's a hazy. It drinks at a 7.3, and it's part of the Choose Your Champ IPA Challenge.
Yeah, so this was a mixed pack I came across, and it has like these 2 wrestling kind of guys on the
sick,
cans.
dude.
Yeah, check them out. X and Instagram for sure.
Yeah, and it has like a Choose Your Champ on the back with a TR or a 9 code, one of those codes.
A QR code.
So I don't know, some sort of promotion's going on, but I just wanted to try their beers.
Yeah,
we haven't had these.
We've been pretty consistent with I would say the vast majority of the Voodoos are good.
Yeah, it's definitely usually, if not a home run, you're definitely hitting doubles and triples.
There's more good beer in the Voodoo Ranger just like family than Dust Bowl has done in its entirety.
We gotta stop shitting on Dust Bowl,
Dude,
brother.
I can't help it, man. I was really disappointed.
What's the next one we're having? Is it going to be a hazy too?
No, that one's I think it's a just straight up West Coaster, if I remember correctly, or just a straight up IPA.
Okay, perfect.
We'll find out soon.
That is very true.
We were going to roll over some playoff. Well, who's in the playoff now if it ended today, and then what teams are just missing the playoffs and what they need to do to get in. I think some of it's just health.
So the playoff picture recap.
Who's got the AFC, boys? Who's got the AFC?
I'll go ahead and lead with the AFC, huh? So there's no surprise at the fucking top of the list.
Undefeated Chiefs.
Yeah.
Sends shivers down your spines. Fucking winning by blocking punts, by fucking doing everything, man. Or blocking field goals, but Jesus Christ, dude.
They're the closers, man. They find ways, even though the team hasn't looked pretty.
Championship football.
Yep. Nick Wright came on Dan Patrick.
I can't stand that guy. Can I put that out there
before we? I think he's okay.
I can't stand Nick Wright, but continue.
He was saying that he thinks because if you look at the fourth quarter numbers, it's like they're like fourth quarter numbers are amazing. Jeez. Yeah, it's like they're out there practicing for 3 quarters, just trying different stuff out, and then for the fourth quarter, they're like, okay, we got to
play some football here. Let's finish shit. Yeah, let's go win a game.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the additions they brought in too, with the injuries they had, the players they brought in.
Was a steal.
They're all fits.
Pacheco just came off. He's on that 21-day thing with the
his
IR.
window is open. Correct.
Yeah.
His practice window is open.
You're right,
I don't
Trev.
think they elevated him today, but
No, I don't think he's elevated today.
Team building has been good.
Dude, they
for
killed
Kansas
it. We thought that
Harrison
the loss,
Bucker went onto the IR.
That's huge. I think that's one of the biggest ones because we thought the loss of Snead to the Titans was going to downgrade that secondary. Dude, that defense right now, isn't there the number one defense in the league? If not, they're up there.
Well, they got to be around there because they haven't given up. Obviously, they haven't lost, and they haven't even gotten really into a shootout. All of their games have been like 30 and sub, right? We're not talking any 40-burger games, so their defense has to be up there in points allowed and yards, obviously, because Mahomes hasn't been playing out of his mind. So it's been, slobber knocker football and getting it done in different ways, and that's the thing that pisses me off. Because come playoff time, they'll have seen all the scenarios already. They've already competed in close games throughout the second half and time management situations and all those kinds of things that you can practice for it, but when it comes up in real game, dude, it completely different scenario, right?
You have to be perfect to pretty much beat the Chiefs. You can't mess up. You can't have that play happen to you where you fall behind, you take that penalty, you make that turnover.
You can't score.
They're going to make you pay
the
for
1
it.
yard line for 4 fucking attempts.
Sometimes that happens.
Fucking Raiders.
Fucking Raiders, man.
Who's number 2 there, Charlie Ross?
Your boy.
Oh,
JA.
That's a huge game today,
the Buffalo
boys.
Bills. Yeah, 1v2.
And I don't think it's a huge game in necessarily the impact of everything. I think it's just a big game to see kind of where we're matching up right now in the season, because you're still going to probably end up having to play each other, I would think.
Well, yeah, because they're both basically about to. Well, the Chiefs will have a harder time clinching the division because the Chargers are actually competitive, whereas the Bills, if they win this game, they clinch the AFC.
Right,
East.
and then what the worry on that is then you start you don't want to start taking. You want to go in the playoffs hot. You don't want to take time. I think taking the time off is one of the worst.
Well, you're not going to take time off just because you clinch the division, but you're not number one overall.
Yeah, so you're fighting.
You still got to fight the Chiefs. The number 1 seed gets that bye week.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, no, this is the game right now. Like the NFL, this is one of the few times where they didn't have to flex the game. They got it right from the jump, and they knew that this was the game this week that they were going to put into prime
time. We
always
hope that this is the game.
So number 3, because they are currently leading the AFC North, the Baltimore Ravens have one more loss, is the Pittsburgh Steelers at 3.
Yep.
Damn. I know. I was so low on this team. Simply because I thought that the juice was going to run out from Tomlin, and then I thought neither one of these quarterbacks were going to be sustainable. But that defense is nasty. And to be fair, Russ is 3-0, and he's not turning the ball over, and he's pushing it downfield. And, I mean, he's doing what he needs to do in that system.
And they're playing the Ravens today.
Right, correct. I think it's 3-0 as it stands, right now.
What you're feeling, we feel pretty good about 1 and 2 staying where they're at. Sorry. Do you feel that Pittsburgh stays at 3, or do you think the Ravens get the win today, end up taking lead of the North and finish out?
Yes.
Trev?
I'm kind of on the other side.
You're smelting?
I'm correcting my adjustment. I'm making adjustments here. I was down on the Steelers. The Steelers are a more complete team than the Ravens are. They just are.
They are.
Baltimore, of course, has the better offense. It's fire. That's why Mars.
But it shows up and it disappears. It's so weird.
And the Ravens' run defense is actually not bad.
It's live by the sword, die by the sword.
It's Ravens' pass defense. You can fucking
That's just been their Achilles right now.
You can get it in on them, dude. Kyle Hamilton's the only real thing they have on the back end.
And if you're going to be playing Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes,
correct.
I can't trust that. Can't trust it.
I don't want to play Patrick Mahomes. I never want to play. No, I'm just kidding.
Who's 4?
If anything, you do want to play Patrick Mahomes because that means you're doing something right. That means you're in the competitive games. 4 is still because the AFC South is kind of lackluster. The Texans, even though they're on a 2-game losing streak, 3-game losing streak.
We thought that this division might be sneaky good with the Colts being good, the Texans being good, and maybe and it's not.
Everybody's taking a step back. Texans offensive line, big concern.
Big concern.
How did it come to this? Like, they played so much better last season.
I don't know, and I haven't really like dove into like their injuries, but I don't think that they're like missing huge parts of the offensive line. Mixon was a nice addition. The loss of almost all the receivers,
and Nico and Stephon Diggs, in like within a handful of weeks was tough.
I think it's huge.
It is.
Yeah, and maybe Tank Dell's taking a step back. Maybe people actually figured him out.
He's not supposed to be a 1. He's not supposed to be a 1. Like, that's the thing.
But other than that, like, defensively, they played okay. They do have big-time mistakes defensively sometimes where they give up, like, chunks.
Right, which is crazy because, D'Amico Ryans is a hell of a coach.
It doesn't seem like they're getting to the quarterback as much either with the addition of the dude from the Vikings. Yeah. We thought that they would really be getting after the quarterback, and they are not really getting after the quarterback at all.
I think he's got like 6. I think he's got 6 on the season, 6 bags. So it's not like terrible on his end.
But Will Anderson doesn't match. Isn't matching it with like 6 or 7.
He's like questionable coming into this game as well.
We thought both of them would be in like that 6-7 sack range, and then they'd have somebody else with a couple. They seem like
they should be somewhere around the 10 sack range.
You said offensive line, but it's offensive and defensive line. I think are like very not underplaying for the Texans.
Right. No, and you win in the trenches. So I mean that division is weak, and they'll win it. They'll win it.
They'll stay 4.
Yeah.
They'll stay 4.
Agreed. That one's super easy to say. So then 5th is the Ravens, right? So depending on the outcome of the game this morning, they will flip flop or stay the same, and then the Steelers will have a big leg up.
And the Ravens could fall depending on who is behind them, because then they would be at 4 losses. And the Chargers are doing it the right way. They're running the football, and they have the number 1 defense.
They are. I mean,
and Justin Herbert delivers.
That's the shit that travels.
On his 25 throws a game, he delivers on 25 throws.
Run game and defense, baby. If you can pack those up into a nice little suitcase, you go anywhere in the nation.
Didn't he go for 2 running touchdowns last week? Didn't he run for 2 and have like over 7 yards?
I think he threw for 1 and ran for 1. I think it was 1 and 1.
The Chargers, I actually think, are maybe the biggest threat to Kansas City.
I do too. I
think it's a familiar foe.
Well, I think it's the way they play the game.
Control the rock, keep Mahomes on the sideline.
I think it's the way they play the game.
It's the best way you can do it. It's the best way you can do it.
And I was kind of surprised out of the teams that, for trades and everything. I'm surprised that the Chargers aren't a team that went and tried to get Herbert one more weapon, one more person to throw the football to.
They really didn't do much. Like, they brought in Harbaugh, and then he just took the roster.
Part of that's their cap situation, because they were working to keep the team that they have together as is, but they definitely are weak at that position.
McConkey's good, and Quentin.
Mm-hmm. He's stepping up. He's got like 5 tuds.
He's stepping up, but he's still not like he's not Neighbors or Brian Thomas.
Very few guys are, dude.
Oh, I know, but you took him in the first. You took him in that first round.
You did. You took him 21 just after Smith and Jigba. So let's go, boys. We need a win. Sorry.
So it's like it's McConkey. Palmer's really hasn't done much. But they definitely need another weapon there.
Yeah, no, agreed. And
even if they went out and got like a tight end.
But once again, they are using the running game to supplement that. They understand.
And Herbert's a fucking stud.
Well, right, which means because when it is time to throw it, you have faith, right? He's not throwing because he's trash.
And he's not taking a bunch of unnecessary hits.
Doesn't have to. He's not dropping back. Right. No,
he's being very efficient. I think he hasn't thrown a pick in the last 6 or 7 games now.
And having a play action with Justin Herbert, oh my God, let a guy get downfield and give him just a second where people aren't
right. If
let him unload that.
If that post breaks that corner or that safety, you're fucking you're done.
That's what
he's going to drop a 50-yarder.
They need that dude. Like if they went,
the guy to go out and get the rock.
Yeah,
that's true.
They need that. They need like that Neighbors or that Brian Thomas of this next draft, which they probably won't. They're going to be drafting kind of late. So, but that's what they need. They need that dude.
There's a premium on wide receivers in the NFL these days, dude. They fucking search.
Look at what you can do with a good one.
Yeah, but there's going to be good ones available too. It seems like there always are.
Always
Higgins
are.
I don't think he'll be a Bengal.
He's not going to be a Bengal.
That's a player that I would look that fits. I think
that's a great call because
throw it downfield with big Justin Herbert to T. Oh
big physical
man,
wide receiver that can body out, box out.
Well, because it would be I guess
it would fit too.
Well,
McConkey.
it would be appealing to him because he would slot into true number one. Correct. He would get the opportunity that he never got behind Chase.
He would one with McConkey being like the slot guy.
And Johnson would be Johnson on one side, and then
it fixes that,
and then go out and look for a tight end.
Team,
you can draft a tight end.
That would be a hell of a move.
I feel like the tight end position has gotten like. I don't know. I haven't looked at these tight ends this year, but I feel like the last couple of years, the tight end position has been really, really good in the draft with some of the players that have come out.
No, that is very true.
So I think you go out and get a rookie tight end and you get a rookie receiver. Dude, you're on the easy end of not paying anybody with your stud quarterback.
The tight end position, and I think that it's low-key extremely underrated.
Brock Bowers slowly sneaking in the top 5 tight ends in the league. You know it.
And number 7 for the third team in the AFC West making an appearance going into this weekend, the Denver Broncos. But we bet against them, boys.
I fucking hate the Broncos.
We bet against them. We bet the Falcons. Check that shit out. That's going to be live on X and Instagram.
I really like Bo Nix, and I really like Sean Payton as a Saint and just Sean Payton as a coach. I fucking hate the Denver Broncos.
I would expect you to, as a Raider fan.
And the fact that they're 5-5 pisses me off.
5-4.
Yes. No. They're 5-5.
They're 5-5. You're right.
I know.
Right. I'm sorry. I know.
I was waiting for Chuck to take a relook.
On the bubble.
Yeah, who's on the bubble, dude?
The bubble. 8 is the Colts. 9 is the Bengals. 10 is the Dolphins.
Anybody think that any of those teams make a run at 5? I think, or
Bengals.
7. I think Bengals might be.
I hope the Bengals.
But what about the Dolphins, dude? They get the shit-ass Raiders today, and then they get
wow.
I mean, do they make a run? I don't know.
They could be that team that steals that last spot.
They got Tua McDaniel putting up some points lately. Had a couple close losses. Had a big win last week.
If you can keep Tua upright, he can generate some points.
Last week's win, I think, puts them in the spot that they maybe make a run. I don't know, man. Bengals get a dub, though, too. Charlie, I'm with you, too.
I still just think.
Or are you just holding on to your fucking goddamn Super Bowl pick?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Both. Hold on, time out. Are you like picking the Bengals from like a Super Bowl pick because you said it on the pod, or are you picking the Bengals because you actually think
out of those 3, the Bengals? Period. Okay. Like, and I understand. It just Joey happens to play into my Super Bowl pick as well.
Joey B's easy.
How do you feel about Anthony Richardson? You think he's going to lead the Colts to a playoff?
Fuck, never, okay. Dude. Come on, we know how I feel about Anthony Richardson.
And then Burrow or Tua.
Well,
come on, we love Burrow.
We know Burrow's a dude. We just had a conversation.
Hold on. I do kind of have a guy crush on Joe Burrow, as it were.
Segue. Here we go. Top 4 quarterbacks right now in the league. I have it as Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, and then Joe Burrow. And maybe because of the record, but Joey's been playing great.
Okay.
Are you guys same page? Is there anybody else that falls in that 4? Are you flip-flopping that 4?
I like that 4. Like, I would have Herbert on the heels.
I have Herbert at 5.
You can't change those 4.
Is that the way you have it too, or you still have Lamar at 4 and Burrow at 2 or 3? Because we had Burrow. I think both of us had him at 2.
You guys. I would put Lamar over Allen. I would go Mahomes, Lamar, Allen, and Burrow. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right, keep going with.
But no, that's the 4. Yeah. There's no denying that's the 4.
That's the 4.
So then
be 4 for a long time. Look how young all those dudes
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah. Nobody's eliminated. Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, the Jets aren't going nowhere. The Pats aren't going nowhere. It's those 3 teams are the ones that are going to be.
So it's Bengals, Dolphins, or Broncos really for that 7th seed.
Yes, because I can't because I'm off of the Colts train. I cut Michael Pittman weeks ago.
Dude, but you can't do anything with quarterback that only complete 30% of his passes.
You can't throw to him because Michael Pittman isn't your go route on a lot of those route trees.
That's Alex Pierce.
It's Alex Pierce, dude. Dude, that roster's fucking stacked, bro.
Adonai Mitchell had a killer catch right before
Shane Steichen a quarterback. Somebody get Shane Steichen a quarterback.
Yeah, like a lot of
Is Kirk Cousins a quarterback next year because they're going to go to Penix? Who is a quarterback of the Colts next year? So you cannot tell me that Anthony Richardson's a starting quarterback of the Colts next year. If you tell me that, I will never pick the Colts to win a fucking division.
Dude, I don't know though, because being the project that he is, I think since you invested in him, you kind of got to play it out a little longer.
That's why I think they got to go veteran. You got to look for some kind of veteran that comes out.
Did you bring in Sam Darnold?
Maybe that might be one that because I don't think that Sammy Darnold, and I'm a huge fan of him. I don't think he's the starting quarterback of the Vikings next year.
Yeah, I think
Kevin O'Connell is a good enough coach and offense coordinator that he's just like we don't need to pay money to this. We can just get the kid that's right here.
We're far enough into the season to say Darnold, he's better than he was, but he's still not the.
And he needs to go to somebody
really
with like he needs to go to an offensive minded.
That game last week was absurd.
Dude, he threw like 2 red zone picks.
3 red zone picks. 3 red zone picks.
You know, it's just he's gonna have to go to an offensive minded coach. If he goes to a defensive minded coach, he's gonna be back to the same old Sam Darnold. He's got to go to.
Agreed.
But that Shane Steichen call, that's great, Trev. That's a really great pick, bro. I like that. I'd be excited for him there.
I mean, Derek Carr could be another name too.
I'd be excited for D. Carr and Colts land too. I'd be excited for both.
You don't think Carr's washed? You think he just needs another opportunity? Because he went down to New
know.
Orleans. That was supposed to be his
he's a
opportunity.
bridge.
I think he's a bridge, but I think that he's an option. I think they're going to go veteran. I don't think they draft like Trev said. I think Sam Darnold is a bigger upside at this point than Derek Carr. But yeah. Team on
Lions got another tud. They're up 28-3.
There
That's
we go.
what we
There we
talking
go.
about. That's
One
what
of
we
the
talking
bets.
about.
Yeah, check us out. X Instagram, baby.
Don't check us out on X and Instagram for our betting. Check us out for our beers. Our betting is less than 50%.
We did have a stretch. The last month was not pleasant, but we hit 3 bangers in a row. And now we're trying to get back in the W column.
Didn't we only hit 2 in a row?
Then
We got 3 in a row.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're back on the train.
On the train.
We like to win.
Trev money.
So-
You got some good NFC shit for me?
Yeah, a team that we all liked, but not enough. Detroit looking like the best in the NFC.
My reasoning on Detroit was because I thought they were going to be the hunted and not being. They were going to be the hunted this year and not the hunter. And I thought that might give a little bit to the Packers winning. I obviously missed. I did have the Lions making the playoffs, but
Yeah.
I missed with that one. But, dude, they're awesome to watch. I'm super happy for Matt or for Campbell and for Goff, dude. I like them both.
They just embody that city, man. They're doing something in Detroit that a lot of people never thought could really get done, especially because, to be fair, you guys, if you look back on what that trade was supposed to be, Goff was supposed to be discarded.
Yeah, and the Lions were going to go get somebody else,
Right.
and Goff was. Dude, I'd have taken Goff.
They're just taking his
Fuck.
contract for this year.
I wish we'd have made that play.
No, I mean, and I honestly, I was never obviously a Jared Goff guy because he's a Ram forever, but
Same.
like.
Start believing you, some bitch.
Calm down. Let me, have. Yeah, I'm starting him in fantasy. Just threw another touchdown to Amara. Like
Amara's awesome.
I can't. I think Jared Goff is extremely underrated. Mostly because he can do the littlest amount with his legs. He's not a statue, but he's definitely not like gonna. You're not running bootlegs with him for him to be the number one option.
Right.
Like.
Their roster is another roster we talk about being really built well.
Yeah, absolutely.
That roster is very well. Think about it. We talk about them needing another receiver. Do they still do very well offensively without having that other receiver?
Yeah.
They have slowly made this roster
And
one of the best rosters in the league with Aiden being hurt.
That's true too.
And Sam Laporta's kind of taking a step back.
He got hurt too. He's not playing today too because he's hurt.
And dude, I really like their coaching staff. A lot of former players. They just, I feel like they feel that team is like feeling themselves.
It's going to be interesting. This might be the next team that loses both coordinators. They've talked about obviously
True.
Ben Johnson's probably the number one candidate, but they've even talked about the guy that's calling the D stuff, the old defensive back. I'm missing on his name.
Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, they're talking about
Really?
him being a head coaching candidate too. I've seen his name pop up in some of those articles.
When
you
he was awesome during their Hard Knocks.
When you turn over 2 coordinators, let alone one offensive
I
coordinator,
get it. Yeah, no, it's.
I talk about it all the
They're
time.
definitely
Your
going to
team
be
shifts.
some candidates. They're taking interviews, especially
Ben
depending on
Johnson's
how
got to
they
be
finish.
the number one head
Who's not
coaching
throwing
candidate.
a bag at him? Who's not throwing a bag? What do I got to do to
I'm
get
on
you
the
here,
phone.
bro? That's
Dude,
what I'm saying.
I'm on the phone right now with Mark Davis.
Benny boy. What you need? What do you need?
With Mark and
from
Tom
me?
Brady, I'm like, hey, this is Zach.
Yeah, get
you
Tom
need to
Brady
check
on the
out my
line.
stuff.
I
TB, my favorite number is 12 too.
I am a billionaire. I will pay you whatever you need to come to this franchise and coach. This guy is got to be that guy going into this offseason.
Even
right?
Bobby Slowick has got to be a hot name. Brian Daboll, if being fired, has got to be a hot name. Dude, I don't know how you can keep looking at this defensive coaching stuff and be like, oh, we can have a young quarterback and a defensive coach. No, you can't. It only works if you hit it out of the home run with your offensive coordinator, as in Bobby Slowick. But then once he leaves, who are you bringing in to now keep
the momentum of the offense?
But I think also
it's so
Slowick
evident.
Has been, he might not be as hot because of the year that the Texans are having. So
hey, dude, I want
I'd
something.
still make a play for that guy
I'm still
if I
making a
needed a
play,
coach.
dude. I'm making my play, brother. I'm playing. I'm playing, brother. I'm getting in. I'm doing research, and I'm almost guaranteeing
Put me in, coach.
I'm trading in to get Cam or Sedura.
Dude, this is really good.
It's delicious.
Yeah, I'm
really
enjoying it more.
Open up a little bit more.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
It's almost like lemony.
Dude, Voodoo,
you guys get like a little like citrus to it.
I get citrus to it for sure. Voodoo is not missing.
Not overall, no.
They're hitting dingers, brother.
Tutties and dangers, baby. They're running at a 90% clip. Like
They are.
Hall of Fame.
How many Voodoos have we had?
A
Where
bunch. We've had multiple packs.
When you're like,
oh yeah, disappointed. I've never been disappointed by one. I've had a couple where I was like, okay, it's good, not great, you know,
100%. But I've never been like, oh,
I'm not drinking
sucks.
that, or this is a bad beer. Although I don't find beer bad anymore. I've gotten over my hump. Like,
I drink everything.
Yeah, exactly. I used to be like, well, I'm not drinking it. No, I'll drink it, dude. Throw me a Coors Light. Whatever.
Someone throw you a naughty ice.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
I'd probably pop that down too.
Hey, brother, if we're just finishing up kickball and that's all you got, throw me a natty light.
I'll go from drinking Pliny to Coors Light back to back.
Easy.
Dude,
I've watched you do it.
Dude, it don't matter, brother.
That's the opposite ends of the spectrum right there, bro.
Russian brewskis, dude. I drank. I went from like a stout to like a big wave to like an IPA, back to like a big wave, back to a longboard. Over
He
here.
finally got. Do you remember that?
Oh, I drank that Christmas stout. I found it in the back of my
Christmas
fridge.
Vacation.
Crush that some bitch.
It was a hazelnut porter, wasn't it? Or something like that, or like it was like a pecan porter. It was a pecan porter.
It was good.
Yeah, I sat on that motherfucker because I told you I was going to give you that, and I did not drink it. So you're welcome.
And then I lost it in the fridge, and then I was like, oh shit. And then I was like, yesterday, I was like, fuck, I'm starting. Here we go.
Here we go, brother.
That time of year.
Sorry, we got off on a weight track. Who's number?
Number two? Let's bring it back to Philly.
Dude, okay. They're playing pretty good football right now, boys.
Yeah. I mean, again, that team on paper. That's why I picked them to win that division.
I just thought Shane Steichen.
I did too. Yeah.
And he has tried.
Not Shane. Wait,
not Shane Steichen.
Nick
Sirianni has tried to fuck it.
There you go.
He has tried to fuck it. He's not a good coach, dude. Even though they're winning. Dude, he is
Lay it
still
on
not
me,
a good
brother.
fucking
Let's
coach.
go. Let's
I
go.
can't stand the guy.
I know you can't, man.
I can't help it.
You are
dude.
a detractor. You are a Sirianni detractor.
And it's not even like he's my team. I can't stand him. I can't. Dude, he's like yelling at fans and shit. What the fuck are you doing? You're the head coach of an NFL team. You jerk off.
You feel like there's a chance that he's gonna cost the team when they get into the playoffs.
Dude, he's totally cost him. Dude, I see it. I'm like having visions of it, bro. Nick Sirianni fucking canned day one of NFL firing
situational
season.
awareness, time clock, like priority, knowing a game manager.
Dork.
A dork.
Well, I didn't want to say any other words.
That's fine.
But he's a complete
dork.
Yes. Put it lightly.
Thanks for cleaning that up.
I don't
agree with you. We have a dork thing that should, as Zach's about to cuss, and it just says dork. Like it's an overlay. As Zach's like going on some like MFing like rant. And
you
it's just
goddamn dork.
Yeah. It's just an overlay.
Very good. How many times did you say dork in that argument? 57 times in 3 sentences.
But it technically was a lot of MFers and other words that were going. But dude, I don't know. They're playing really good football. Saquon has had a huge thing on this team.
He's an animal.
Giants are idiots.
This is the Jalen Hurts.
Did you hear the chant? That,
yeah.
Thank you, Giants. Come on, dude. Like,
thank you.
Yeah, thank them.
They didn't even have to do anything. They just gave him a contract, and he came over to their team and gives them 150 yards a fucking game.
This is
This is good.
This is the Jalen Hurts. The Jalen Hurts is. He's not the Jalen Hurts of 3 years ago where he was like unstoppable. He's not the Jalen Hurts of last year where he was really bad. This is the real Jalen Hurts that we're seeing.
I agree with that.
This is completely the real Jalen Hurts. He's efficient. He's not making a ton of big plays running the ball, but he's making okay plays passing the ball. This is the Jalen Hurts that we're going to see.
Yeah, because you get to just you run through a motherfucker face, dude. Saquon Barkley is an animal.
But
when you can afford to give him 25 to 30 touches a game and you're winning handily, then Hurts doesn't have to necessarily.
But I don't think he can be that dude.
I think he can. He threw for 400 yards in a Super Bowl.
No, I think he can do that. I don't think he can like put the full season of
Sure. No, I
where
think
he's got to like be the runner.
I think there's
and
a
the
difference
thrower.
between like a game
I think that wears on
versus
you.
like
like he's not Josh Allen size. He's not Cam Newton size.
The hits make the difference.
And last year we thought he was hurt all year, and it never ever came out. I think this is the exact Hurts that needs to be the team to win a Super Bowl. You have to be this Hurts, where he runs a little bit, but he's very managing in the pass game.
Agreed.
He needs to be Russell Wilson.
And you trust him a lot more if you had a different head coach.
He's got great escapability and a good first step. If you can do that, if you can make the first guy miss, even if you don't get 50 yards down the field, that's not the point.
If he has like 5,
make the first guy miss, get 5 yards, get down, don't take a hit.
5 plan rushes, maybe 10. Like maybe if on those 5 plan rushes, maybe have like 7 RPOs where he can run it too, but not be running them where he's taking 15 runs a game.
I think
you know what I'm saying?
This
you
is
keep it under 10.
The clear cream of the crop for the NFC 1-2. This makes sense. Like
I do, and I think the NFC is really thick at the top. I think the NFC is actually a better division, except for maybe the top couple teams. The bottom of the NFC is way better than the bottom of the AFC.
Who's number 3?
Number 3, Atlanta.
Only because they're winning the division.
South
but
is
dude, they're a hard team to figure out, man. They come out one week and look just so dominant with Bijan and Kirk, and then next week, so I don't know if it's necessarily
the Seahawks at home.
I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's the offensive play calling. It's a very, very hard team to figure out, honestly.
That's what I was going to ask.
And they don't get no pressure on the fucking quarterback.
Yeah, the defense hasn't been good pressuring the quarterbacks. And that offense, again, you question, is the play calling holding back or what's going on there? Because there's just moments where they just look like a different team.
Dude, you guys beat them, but what did Bijan put up on you? Like 150,
No, not that much. It was 2 tuds, but I think it was like 107. He had 2 touchdowns and 107. But Algier also had a fairly good game. We gave up a lot of rushing yards total. For sure.
So it's so hard to figure out.
No, because then Kurt also broke Matt Ryan's record on Matt Ryan night against the Bucks for like 500 plus yards. Yeah,
they still have some growing to do if they're going to be a true competitor.
It has. I thought their defensive. I thought they finally made the signings that they needed to going into the season.
100%, Charlie. I'm 100%.
They were going to shore up some of those question marks, and they're still just question marks.
Their back end's good. Like their back end is really good.
It's good enough.
Corner safety is really good.
Right.
Their front 7 is their linebackers.
It's been disappointing.
Dude, they do not get any.
Dallas Turner,
zero
have you ever heard Dallas Turner's name called once ever?
Dude,
I don't know if I've never heard his name even called.
He's a rotational player.
Weird.
When you get dudes like Jared Verse, if you look on the sheet.
Yeah, Verse, my goodness.
Zach called Rookie of the Year. Jared Verse, when you get guys like Jared Verse.
You only remind us every pod.
Dominating. Brandon Fisk dominating. And then you get Luatu. He's having an okay year. But Dallas Turner's not even on the field. He's a rotational dude. He's not even
if you think about what the Falcons did in the first round this year, they moved up to draft people who don't play.
Well, they kind of took my quarterback, Chuck, honestly.
Penix, too. Hey, you ain't got to tell me nothing, bro. I love watching Penix in purple.
I'm opening a new beer.
I am, too. I'm trying to, my mic, I feel like my mic's falling. I'm kind of out, but I'm good.
You good?
I'm set.
You good?
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
All right. So before we get to number 4, let's talk about this new brewski. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Another Voodoo. You can definitely see the color.
Yeah, difference. This is a little bit more darker.
Way different color. Yeah. You know it's going to be hoppy.
It looks nice. Electric thunderclap.
Oh my God!
That's
really
dinger.
Another dinger. I was expecting to eat hops.
The color versus the flavor profile is vastly different.
I was expecting to eat hops.
I was expecting it to be kind of like a Pine Drops or a Fresh Squeeze, like a dank IPA.
I was too.
Very earthy hops, and it still kind of remains a little fruity.
The color, I was not expecting this flavor. 100%.
So since it is a match,
you
choose your champ.
You can't yet.
Can't yet?
We can't yet. No
Gotta
way.
wait for it to open up some
Absolutely.
more. Yeah, you're agreeing.
Okay, I will say initial taste goes to Thunderclap for me. initial taste goes to the second one.
I'm going with Blaze, brother.
Blaze opened up so nice at the end.
No, that's what I'm saying. At the end, Blaze was amazing. So I'm not going to make my full, but I'm saying after first palate hit.
You think Thunderclap comes out with
hit harder? Yeah.
I don't agree. I don't know, Charlie. I'm more out of the first 3 rounds. I'm more of seeing the 40, like 37 kind of score, whatever. After that, boxing kind of shit, whatever those scores work out, which is so stupid. Angelique's like, well, the score wasn't actually that bad. I was like, babe, come on. He won 2 rounds. He's like, well, it's 10-9. I said, it's always 10-9 unless you get knocked down.
Correct. Right. So it makes sense. The scoring is super simple in boxing. How could you say it's stupid? It's super
just like, dude,
simple.
you can't get 9 points and your ass kicked the whole fucking round.
Well, you lose a point.
That's one. You should lose like multiple.
If you get knocked down.
You should lose multiple for just sucking.
Just getting hit in the face a whole lot?
Yeah, I can stand there and just take punches, dude. That doesn't mean I'm not. Yeah, come on.
Wait, what was
Fuck, dude.
You can't just stay. You would, if you got hit in the face, you would not look like that.
You just stand there, just getting hit in the face, and you get like a 9 points.
Oh,
dude, come on. If you're getting slugged up and you're not doing nothing, you should not get 9 points.
So
let's get to number 4.
Yeah, that's how I was going to bring it back.
Bring it back now, y'all.
The Arizona Cardinals at 6-4.
Boo.
In the number 4 spot.
Jonathan Gannon, hell of a coach.
He is.
I would really like to see where the offensive coordinator is at on coaching trees right now, because what they're doing offensively is impressive, and they have Trey McBride, they have Connor, they have Harrison, they have the kid from Stanford. Is that Wilson?
Yep,
Michael Wilson.
Got it. You got it.
Their weapons are really nice. So he's another name that's going to be a sneaky hire.
No, I think, but I don't think he's got enough juice. I think,
dude, people will hire whatever they can find. Dude.
I mean
that can be the case. You're not wrong. We've definitely seen some stretches, and it's not. I don't know if like there's enough.
But it starts his name going. Maybe next year he's a big time hire.
Next year,
it's going to start.
He's probably going to need 2 years.
It's going to start his name because dude, look what they've done.
Yeah, that's why they're going to start getting some buzz.
I remember
you're not expected to do anything. You're expected to probably finish last in the division, and you're leading it. We'll see if you finish there. You're still looking pretty good, though.
Yes.
In the NFC West preview, I vividly remember us saying that their ceiling was like potentially 11 wins because they had potential weapons, and
we like Jonathan Gannon, what we saw last year.
Every game they played in was a 1-possession game except for one. In 17 contests, they only lost 1 game by double digits.
Playing for your fucking coach, dude. Even when you don't have like a great roster,
even if you're under 500,
defensively,
that is coaching.
Defensively, they need work. Defensively, they need work. Defense coach should get some hype because defensively they need work. Dude, they lost BJ Olawaji, the kid from LSU. He got hurt at the beginning of the year, blown knee
pretty quickly.
He's one of their edge rushers. Defensively, they need some help, but maybe they can build that. Dude, we've seen that they can build in the draft, so maybe this year it's a defensive draft for the Cardinals to help build around the offense. What they've done.
I think they should just trade all their assets and rebuild. I think that they need
same
to
with the Rams.
Yeah, exactly, correct, and the Niners. Yep, all of them. All 3 of them need to rebuild immediately. Trade all your assets. But for shit picks, like for 5th rounders and 6th rounders, totally. Yeah. I'm
pennies on the dollar.
Roscoe, exactly. Thank you guys for understanding me. It only took fucking 74
I don't agree with anything. Out of these 4 that we've talked about, are we thinking that these 4 are the 4 at the end of the season, or is there a change in these 4?
Well, I think the NFC West is wide open.
All the teams are so close.
I think the NFC South can definitely. I think Tampa Bay still might have something to say, especially if
they're too beat up.
They are.
I think both South divisions are just not.
They got so much. Tampa Bay has got so much fight in that tank. I don't think they can make it into the division.
It's a fair take.
Because we haven't gone through 5, 6, 7 yet.
Right.
Divisionally, I think that the only one that isn't happening, or could change, is the West. I think the Lions are far enough away from my Packers. I think that I'm all over the place with shit. But I think that's the only one that has a chance of flip flopping. I think all the other divisions at this point are probably locked, stocked, and loaded.
Agreed. I like Washington. Washington's going to make the playoffs.
But they've not looked really great in the last couple of weeks. So they've taken a step back.
They just gave up the ability to get in front of Philly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, that one's, and then they'll stay in front of Dallas
and Green Bay.
No, fucking Dallas sucks, bro. They're done. I said it. We said it. I didn't pick them 4th, but I should have.
I picked them.
I know.
I didn't.
I know. I mean, you did. Yeah, both of us did.
Call that.
Who's 5, Trev? Who's
So
5?
5. I mean, got Minnesota at 5, Green Bay at 6.
Dude, they're both good. They're
That
good.
North,
do you think
bro.
that Minnesota stays 5, or do you think they slip to maybe a 7?
Today is going to be an indicator. I feel like
dude, thunderclap is delicious.
Is Darnold gonna like
Thunderclap.
bounce back to being good enough, or is he just gonna cost them this season?
I don't
We
know.
watched him
Watched him
toss that crosser to Addison before we came in
Dude,
here, so
he's-
it's not to say he can't read a field.
No, he's Kevin O'Connell and Kyle
He
have
just
kind of
makes
started
those
fixing
throws
it.
every now and then that you're just
yes,
like,
he-
wow,
but that's-
why? What?
that-
Yeah, no,
That's
I
why
don't
he
disagree.
has to be on an offensive. Like if he's not, I think all three of us agree that we think that Kevin O'Connell's a good enough coach that they don't pay the money to Darnold. They roll with JJ.
Yep, agreed.
I love Trev's pick of Darnold going to the Colts to give him that offensive person. He needs the offensive head coach for the stability and like just to rein him in. If he goes to a defensive coach, he's going to be back to a Sam Darnold where the picks are maybe like as much as a touchdown,
Your
as a fumble.
number 2, come in and play a few games. You hope.
Yep.
At most.
Yep, 100%. I think that the Colts are a great landing spot, Trev. I think that's a great pick.
It makes sense.
But yeah, I think the Vikings maybe fall. I love the Packers. I think they're whole putting it all together. I think that team is scary.
The Packers,
They don't scare me.
they don't scare me either.
They can, and like it's not to say they can't.
They should.
It's not to say they can't win a game. I won't say that. They obviously are competitive, but they don't like. I don't know if they strike fear into me.
They're missing a little growth. That
They need to get better because they were scary last year. They were.
there's times they're a team that flashes.
Yes.
If they became consistent, they would be scary.
Man, I swear that's the key word across sports in general is consistency, right?
Yep.
Like you can have a game or two, but if you slump after having a good couple games, nobody gives a shit.
Like
if you're good the first month, but you suck ass in the last month, nobody cares about that first month.
We just watched Romeo Dubs, which is our boy, drop a
wide
great
open.
pass by Love.
Yeah.
Great pass. Put it in the only spot it could be.
Yeah,
dropped
Things
it.
like that.
You can't do that. And he's
You're
our
a
guy.
professional.
Watson's got to stay healthy. Love kind of been injured a little bit this year too.
Yes, he has.
And he has some questionable passes at times.
I think he's gunslinging at heart. That's
Little
why you
bit.
got Matt LaFleur to kind of bring him back in.
You reel him in.
You know, you got to reel him back in. The guy that said fuck it at Boston College, head coach, and he's brought that defense to what we thought that defense should have been. Dude, they drafted some pieces that I think all three of us liked. I know me and you liked a lot of the pieces they drafted. Trev. So that, and he says fuck it to Boston College because he's the one to like deal with the NIL bullshit, and he comes and de-coordinates, and that's like a whole turnaround.
So we're pretty much in agreement, though. We think that Washington, Green Bay are probably in, but Arizona, Minnesota are the teams that could fall out.
I agree. I think Washington. I don't know, dude. I'm really nervous, man. Washington's lost 2 or 3 in a row, and kind of looks struggle busish. Like,
I don't know. I still think they're going to be one of those teams.
If the Niners win today, they will end up beating the Cardinals.
Well, that's because who's
It's
next?
a big game today.
It's a massive
Because
game
who's next,
today.
Trav? Because there's teams like
So
because
yeah,
you guys haven't even.
lurking in the waters. The Niners
It's
are
the
at
Niners.
8,
It's
at
the
5
Niners,
and 4. Chicago, I don't think any
they're
of us
done.
think they're that team.
Toast them.
But
They're having
the
a
team
good game
behind
today.
them,
They're
the
having a good game
Rams.
today.
If we were
at 4 and 5
like
too.
the fucking, I like the Rams because of coaching. If we were on NBA TV with Barkley and shit, we'd have our fishing hats on. Out fishing, you know, when you're out of the playoffs, they do the out fishing. That's what
None of them are though.
the Bears are.
Not really.
They're fishing in Lake Michigan right now, bro.
They've
Eberflus
lost.
is on the way
They're
out.
4 and 5.
Eberflus is on the way out. I will say it again, maybe a little bit slower so everybody can hear me.
Yeah, it's just how that 4 and 5 has looked. Like
Right,
I
no,
It's
don't-
not been consistent. It doesn't look good. Dude, you got to clean house. You got to reset. You got to bring your, hopefully going, you're going for one of the big offensive minds.
yeah. Well, yeah. That offense
You
should be
need
so much
your
better.
number one pick to do.
Should be so much
Dude, he's
better.
taking way too many fucking sacks.
He's holding the ball.
Yeah.
Can't hold the ball that long. Like he's playing like he's still at USC.
Correct. 100%.
Dangerous.
He is not even.
Somebody's got to they got to correct him.
Jaden,
They gotta
Bo,
give him a
and I
swift
would even
kick.
say Drake May are playing better than Caleb right now.
I would agree, and I was very down on. I thought Drake May would take a little bit longer to develop.
He's looked really
he
good.
looks good. I'm calling that a loss on my call too, man. He's been better than I
Jaden has
expected.
taken a step back last week.
I also
or
think
two,
it's the difference between the pedigree of where those programs are at. Not that Chicago isn't historic, but
they're
New
historic
England
of not turning out quarterbacks.
Exactly.
Well, it's because you have shitty fucking coaching hires.
Well, okay, I'm not disagreeing with you, but what I'm saying though is like New England is a place that you can go and traditionally thrive. Like not traditionally, but at least within the last little bit.
Huge turnover though, so it's hard to equate the two.
If he would have went to Bill Belichick, he wouldn't have thrived because the offensive coordinator was Matt Patricia. He has Alex Van Pelt right now.
Such a disaster.
Okay. Well, then I mean,
like you've Jared Mario is maybe starting to build something, so you have a different setup there.
Exactly, but I'm just saying though, like I would, if I was a quarterback, I'd rather go to New England than Chicago. Period. They haven't had an All-Pro quarterback in Chicago since 1940 some odd.
Well, I don't know. I think you got to look at the situations of the team. Like, built.
Look what Nagy did.
Chicago should be so much better.
Look what Nagy did with Trubisky.
If they have the talent to be, though, you just get the right coach in there.
Can you imagine if Chicago would have drafted somebody else with Nagy over Trubisky? Nagy gets a bad rap.
Mahomes,
even Deshaun Watson at that point.
Fuck, dude.
Even think about that draft. Even Deshaun Watson at that point. You literally took Mitchell Trubisky.
Will never be able to sleep.
Matt Nagy went to two seasons in the playoffs. Matt Nagy gets a rough deal for what happened there. Sure. I think Matt Nagy should be on the hiring carousel as well. Dude, he went to 2 playoffs with Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah, and then he fucking fumbled the bag and then double doinked a couple of different things. Like,
dude, he had Mitchell Trubisky.
No, Matt Nagy is the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. Why would he leave?
I don't know why. I'm just saying he gets a bad rap for the quarterback that the organization wanted to take.
No, if you're the head coach, though, I would.
You don't always get that pick, dude. We've seen it.
I can understand that too, but it's just like, I don't. Then I quit Mitchell Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes. You don't know that at the time, though.
But you knew Deshaun Watson. Dude, Deshaun Watson at that point was fucking insane.
Should have been for sure well over whoever the fuck Mitchell Trubisky was at that point. North Carolina.
Dude, he looked like shit, dude. I watched 2 Mitchell Trubisky games at North Carolina. I was like, no way this guy's getting fucking talented.
It was another one of those things where you're drafting more potential.
But where was the... I never saw the potential. That's when I never saw it.
All right. He had measurables, but I didn't see it either as far as play goes.
Fuck. Waste.
Anyway.
So what's our fandom, Z?
Fandom this week. Let's talk some video games, dude. So I've been like diving into my PS5 a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't been playing the football game, but I've been playing a lot of other games. I just downloaded the racing game that's free this week, the Hot Wheels one. Me and Grayson kind of getting down on it.
Oh, nice.
Dude, you get to like all the Hot Wheels cars, so you get to like upgrade them and stuff. But dude, there's some like cars you're like, dude, I had this fucking car.
That's
Did
cool.
you have a lot of Hot Wheels as a kid?
I did.
Okay.
And Grayson's had Hot Wheels too.
I had a few, not a lot. I didn't have like crates of them.
Well, Grayson has Hot Wheels too, as of like.
Sure.
So I've kind of been living like. My wife makes fun of me a lot about how I get to like relive like a part of my childhood because he has tons of guys.
A little more reliving that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with this.
Dude, Chuck's seen his like toy setup. Dude, he's got Legos. It's just a great thing that we have so many people that love him that give him these gifts.
Yeah, I'll give him a few.
Dude, he's got Batmans. He's got guys. So we get all this stuff. The Hot Wheels, we were building like racetracks through the house for a little bit. So that game is pretty cool.
I'll tell you one thing though. If you can keep a kid in this society, do it for as long as you can, man. Let him have figures and have fun and be a kid, dude.
He's all kid.
He is, dude, which he should be right now. He's only 7, dude. Like,
but dude, so I got that game, which is kind of cool. You upgrade the cars. Sure. So I upgrade a car. The boys want me to buy. Link and fucking Grayson want me to buy fucking like, Zachy, check out this car. You can get this car. You have enough stuff. I was like, dude, boys, we're not buying cars right now. I haven't looked at because we were like, how
generation though, man.
Those boys, dude,
all those add-ons.
Dude, those boys wanted all these cars, but I had the cards because I've been winning races. So I've been playing that. Playing Borderlands 3 a ton, but I got 3. I got 3 games right now on my Christmas/Black Friday list.
Bring it on.
I want to hear. 2 of them we talked about heavily, not on pod. So obviously, game number 1, I want to get Hogwarts Legacy. I am so enthralled with the whole entire Harry Potter story. I'm actually dumbfounded. And I was thinking about this the other day. I'm dumbfounded.
Let's go.
How we have not had anything after.
What do you mean?
Until this new Child Curse movie. Why have we not dug deeper into the either Hogwarts Legacy? Why can we figure out more characters? That's before.
But that's still the universe, though.
Right, but why haven't we had anything else? Give me like something else. Give me like newer stuff. Can Neville be like a main character in like some side script shit? Like, why haven't we had anything else? So that's game number one.
Because J.K. Rowling is now canceled.
Yeah, she got
which is
under
bullshit.
fire.
She's awesome.
So she doesn't have that.
And her comments were on fucking point. Let's just put it that way. On fucking point. We're probably getting canceled after this. You might have to cut that.
But
Stand behind your opinions, man. That's the First Amendment. I'm not going to say I agree with you, but you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, no, I mean, if Disney was behind this, then yeah. But they just don't have that.
Yeah, they don't have the backing.
They don't have the backing. But otherwise, it's a story that you could run with.
Dude, it was amazing listening to the books. I didn't read them. Listening to them is different. It's fucking amazing. And I watched all the movies. Talk about that later on a movie fandom. So game number one, Hogwarts Legacy. All right. Game number two is the what's it called? Horizon New Dawn. Game number two is that.
Yeah.
Zero.
Well,
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
There's Forbidden West as well, but Horizon Zero Dawn is my
I want to play
favorite.
that. I want to play that one first because I wanted the story before I jump to the next one.
Yes, that is my favorite single player game. I think of all time. Of all time.
That's hot.
It's phenomenal.
That's hot. That's hot take.
The landscape is luscious but vast.
You can just get lost in
you can do so much shit.
you are.
Anything. And there's always foraging. Like the best part is that you get to create and forage. Like it's legit. That game is fucking dope. And it looks so good. Like, yeah, shout out to Horizon.
So that's number two. Game number three, I've been doing lots of like looking and I've gone through my like my Baldur's Gate 3, my Marvel my Marvel Knights or whatever game where the Dark Knight or not Dark Knight where they're like the whatever they are, Midnight Sun where you're like Wolverine and all that.
Come on.
Star Wars New Frontier or whatever where it's backed up by the Survivor game. Star Wars game where you're a Padawan.
Always just EA is always what scares me out of those.
But
games.
But I've heard it is just like the other two, and I like the other two.
Okay.
Because I loved Battlefront 1 and 2, but then you play the Force Awake or no. What was the game?
There was Force Awakens.
Yeah, but that was a throwback. About? The Force Awakens was fucking...
where you're the dude, right? And you're like working for...
but that was literally like, I think in 2000, like
it plays like that in number 2. Yeah, and then number 2 came out. There's two of them.
Been those EA Battlefront games as well.
That has dropped within the 2020s and 2022s.
But I think that's game number 3 because you get to be lightsaber wielding, building your force skills just like that other game. Where, you're building whether you're like a lightsaber
EA
dude.
Just kills first persons for me.
I've talked to a couple people that played and they say it's a really good game. So I'm doing my research in and out. But those are the 3 games: Hogwarts Legacy, Star Wars. I don't know if it's New Frontier, but it's a New Year Padawan dude, and then Horizon 2, Star Wars 3. So those are the 3 I'm looking at. Walmart actually had them cheaper than Target and PS5.
Dang. Well, that's pretty nice.
Okay. 2 of them. I didn't see the Star Wars.
I'm waiting for some, Black Friday, Cyber Monday myself.
Absolutely. I'll download a couple.
What are you guys looking into? Trevor, you go first.
So I've been slacking because I haven't played much new games recently. So there's a Horizon Forbidden West expansion I haven't gotten yet. That's on my list.
Is expansion different than the game? You've already beat the
yeah, so it's just additional story, additional
DLC,
missions,
baby.
additional
DLC.
weapons.
I just always I just beat the game and then I move on.
Traditionally just beat the main story. I very rarely do I DLC.
I DLC for games I like.
Sure,
I DLC for Horizon. I DLC for Borderlands because I love Borderlands is like one of my favorite shooters. I've been playing
Borderlands is my only first-person shooter that I fucking play. I hate first-person shooters.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't like Call of Duties. I don't like those games. I don't even play them.
Dude, I fuck with Halo.
See, I've never even done that.
Sure. I don't have an Xbox anymore.
I'm a Gears of War dude because of third person. Borderlands is my favorite and only first-person shooter, and I love all of them.
Is it because it's a looter?
Do you like that? You get to
scrap as you go along. That adds a lot.
The story is good too,
and you're building character by
but it's the looter RPG fact that he likes the most out of it. Like a traditional first person shooter isn't like it.
No, it's a complete looter. Yes, it's you're leveling up. Yeah. You're trying to pick a certain tree.
No, I fell in love with Borderlands for sure. I beat the hell out of the first couple multiple times, no doubt. Like I haven't dipped my toes into the third one. I downloaded it because we were gonna gang play it, then we never ended up linking up. We'll fucking figure that out too. Yeah, that's.
I've just been going all crazy on it. It's my game right now that I just get dug into.
The one that I lose myself in.
The good thing about the multiplayer on that game, you can jump in anywhere. You don't have to be the same level. It level scales. So we're gonna do that. I mean, other than that, I've been doing a little bit of Twitch as far as NCAA goes, but being an EA product, I have my gripes.
Sure.
But I'm still excited to see where that game goes. We haven't really got to the off season. Last time we went through the season, we ended
no desire.
Good. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, no, it's
gonna make it happen.
But I want to see what the off season look like, what the transfer portal looks like.
I'm getting somewhere. I'm getting somewhere with
the first
this game.
season at the end of the regular season.
I'm gonna put together a goddamn dynasty, dude. If it kills me down there in South Alabama, I got some prospects that I'm bringing in.
NIL. We haven't really.
No, we have never. The transfer portal has been closed because it only opens in off season, so we have no idea what that's going to
look like.
Yeah, not a shot. Like it's super interesting in some ways.
Have you gone through it single player?
Yeah, I haven't.
Oh, you mean like just no? I'm literally just week by week in the dynasty. No, I haven't. Yeah, no, I haven't done a offline dynasty. No, I have not. No, it's funny because I actually play the Madden dynasty or franchise, if you will, for like my offline single player. I do have Madden 24, and that game, I mean, it's so weird. The difference between college and pro in the games is very different. Madden is so much slower. It's so much slower. NCAA is like arcade gaming. Like it's insane. Some of the shit that happens is good and bad. They've done updates, and tackling is better. The angles that your AI take is better. I think they're finally listening to fans. I will say this. It has cleaned up some shit that I had a lot of arguments with when it first dropped. Like your defenders, your AI was so bad. Like now we've always kind of played as shit teams because that's kind of how we like to do it, right? Is build it,
a program.
Yeah, we've never taken a USC, a Notre Dame, and LSU.
Build it up.
Yeah, right. So we've always kind of had the boo-boo teams, but even when you're playing boo-boo team versus boo-boo team, like. You can't tackle like so quickly. Oh my god! Like the angles that the AI would take to make tackles was just like that's not how football is played. That's why I just want to
shoot people.
Okay, I can understand that, but what I'm saying though is I've noticed that they've cleaned that up. There's not as many egregiously broken tackles and shit just like not going wrong.
What else are you playing?
I've been mad into Dead Space.
That's right.
Horror guy. I'm traditionally not either, but I've heard nothing but good reviews.
And you're enjoying it.
So it's great.
Dive it in. Great.
Yes.
Beat it once yet?
No, I'm 3 chapters in. I only like to load in when I can do a whole chapter at a time, and each chapter takes about an hour and a half.
You playing these at night too?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Lights off.
Lights off for sure. Come on now. If I'm gonna do horror, I'm gonna try to do horror. It's creepy, dude.
Streaming that.
It's creepy for sure. Oh, there's oohs and ahs. And like the jump scares haven't even gotten super crazy yet. But the worst is like. So like what I do have surround sound, so like I've learned that it's way more about like hearing things because you don't see them at all. You're doing something, you're trying to turn on some electric, you put it in a battery, some shit, right? You gotta like
build the ship up.
Exactly. And you're thinking, all right, dude, I'm good. I just cleared that last room. There shouldn't be anything on me. And then all of a sudden you get a just stab in the back. And you're like, what the fuck? You turn around, you're in a hallway. You better turn your gun the right way. Oh, man. Dead Space can get intense. And the remake, shout out. It's been fun.
I like it that you like it. I'm not playing it.
No, honestly, I kind of took a step out of my comfort zone. I've just heard so many good things about that game, and it's also the remake. The first drop was amazing too, right? So it's like
it just looks better now.
Exactly, a game that was already like critically and audience loved got a remake, and they didn't change anything. They just made the story a little bit more longer, like they said, and then they bumped up the difficulty a little bit. Like
cleaned it up.
Yeah, that's rad. It's a true like just HD remake, and not like one of the things that's on my radar though, if you will say for like future, I have to get Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I blew through remake and I loved it so much, and I've been waiting on going through Rebirth because I kind of wanted to branch out and do other things, because when I get consumed by that game, that's
all
the
aboard.
one. That's the one. Yeah.
All aboard.
When I did Final Fantasy VII Remake, I played nothing but that for like 40 some odd hours. And it was so good. That game is so good. That game is so good, dude. I am very excited for Rebirth. Like, I was very skeptical at first just because of the reimagining, and like I wasn't used to the mechanics. Once I figured out the mechanics, and I really got down with the timing for sure. Like, and once, because I hadn't really ever branched into the Final Fantasies that were on like the PS3 and the PS4, like, which was like 10 through. I played 10, which was on 2, but it was like 11 through like 16 or some shit was like on that era, and I never played any of those. But and then another one that's on, I hope it goes on a Black Friday special, because I don't really want to pay $60 for the whole. I will if I have to, but is the Capcom Marvel vs. Capcom arcade. Like, it's all 6 games that they ever dropped.
I'm
like,
sure it goes on sale.
It should. It will eventually, right? It just hasn't yet, but it has to. Like, and when it does, I will sweep that up. I will. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is bar none my favorite fighting game, and I will elicit a challenge to any one of you members out there who wants to come over and play it. And once I download it, I'm going to get a second controller and I'm going to beat you guys and the fans. No, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is honestly like, if I had like a pantheon of games, it's like God tier for me. There. I fucking love that game. Yeah, I've dumped hours into that game.
I still feel myself wasting time on occasion on Rocket League, and
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean it's God, that environment is just so crazy. That the ranking system in that game is just dumb as all get out.
I will say that I do play, because I do have a first-person shooter itch. I do have Call of Duty, the old school remaster that dropped in like 2016. Like, you can still play that.
Okay,
that one's fun.
Yeah, if it goes on sale, this is another game I think you should pick up. It's probably not even that expensive now. Helldivers. There's like, okay, this game is not about like.
You've been a Helldivers guy.
The story, really.
Helldivers too.
It has like that kind of Starship Troopers kind of comical like feel to the story, but because there's not much of it, but it's, as far as cinematic action, that is one of the top tier games, I feel like.
I'll have to look into it too.
It's crazy. Like, you're fighting like Terminators, you're fighting like bugs, like Starship Troopers-esque, and yeah, it's not great if you want a story, but it is great if you just like cinematic action.
I want a story.
He's a story guy.
I know, but it's just it's a different type of game, but it has that appeal because of how good the cinematic action is. It just, you're on other planets, everything looks incredible, the action is wonderful as far as just
honestly, I lean more towards that than story.
Let us know what you think on Instagram and X.
Please, yeah, your games you've been playing now, games of the past and the future. There's a bunch. Rebirth, dude. I'm gonna get into Rebirth. I gotta kill me some Dead Space though. We'll probably get onto that. So watch out for Pod 75. Going to be coming around the corner.
Which one you like better?
Ooh, good
wrestling match.
I'm Blaze Lightning still.
Really? I think I'm Thunderclap.
Dude, it is so close for me.
Good. I think I'm Thunderclap.
These are 2 delicious beers, though.
Check them out. Go get that 12-pack for New Belgium. Shout out to Voodoo Ranger. I think Zach's got to pee. We're signing off now. We'll see you guys later. This is done, son.
Till next time.